Back when Russia invaded Ukraine, billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk aided Ukraine in their war effort by supplying their military with Starlink satellite technology. Musk announced on Twitter that he was deploying Starlink in Ukraine. Starlink has immensely helped Ukrainian forces fight Russia. However, recently Musk announced that he could no longer fund Starlink in Ukraine. He also asked the US military for help. But has Musk really pulled Starlink out of Ukraine? Let's find out in this video. Back in February, Ukrainian Vice Prime Minister Mikhailo Fedorov took to Twitter to ask the SpaceX CEO to activate his Starlink satellites for use in Ukraine. Musk swiftly tweeted his response. Starlink service is now active in Ukraine. More terminals en route. Soon after, a number of terminals and powerful batteries arrived in Ukraine. Others soon followed. Fedorov took to Twitter again to express his gratitude. Starlink here. Thanks at Elon Musk. This happened to be a very public deal between a politician whose country has been attacked and an enigmatic billionaire who went on to challenge the aggressor, Russian President Vladimir Putin, to single combat. Media outlets later reported how the Ukrainian army was making very successful use of Starlink for drone attacks on Russian tanks and positions. The Telegraph reported that Starlink is of particular military significance in areas where the infrastructure is weak and there is no internet connection. Starlink satellites are also intended to provide internet to undersupplied regions far from urban centers. The potentials for using satellites to get information to people in regions where the internet is censored had been discussed. Few, however, had imagined that its initial use would be in a European war zone in which one of the aggressor's first acts at the start of the invasions was to target and destroy power supplies and internet connections. Ukrainians have regained access to information. According to the Telegraph, Starlink is one of the most popular apps downloads in Ukraine, enabling more than 100,000 people to stay updated about what is happening in the war and to keep in touch with the outside world. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky also uses the Starlink satellites to make speeches to the nations and to national parliaments around the world. Quite apart from its military usefulness, Starlink has become vital to Ukraine, both for obtaining worldwide support and for maintaining the unbroken resistance of the people. With Starlink playing such a pivotal role for the Ukraine in the war, it makes no sense for Musk to cut connections so abruptly. However, this month, Ukrainian troops reported outages of their Starlink communications devices on the front line, hindering efforts to liberate territory from Russian forces, according to its officials and soldiers. Some of the outages led to a catastrophic loss of communications in recent weeks, said one senior Ukrainian government official with direct knowledge of the issue. Many were reported as soldiers breached the front line into Russian-controlled territory and some during pitched battles, the official said, speaking under the conditions of anonymity. All four regions are the focus of an intense Ukrainian counteroffensive and were claimed last month by President Vladimir Putin as part of Russia after referendums staged by Kremlin proxies. While these outages have something to do with Russian occupations, Musk too made some controversial statements. So far, roughly 20,000 Starlink satellite units have been donated to Ukraine, with Musk tweeting that the operations has cost SpaceX $80 million and will exceed $100 million by the end of the year. But those charitable contributions could be coming to an end, as SpaceX has warned the Pentagon that it may stop funding the service in Ukraine unless the US military kicks in tens of millions of dollars per month. Documents obtained show that last month, Musk's SpaceX sent a letter to the Pentagon saying it can no longer continue to fund the Starlink service as it has done until now. The letter also requested that the Pentagon take over funding for Ukraine's government and military use of Starlink, which SpaceX claims would cost more than $120 million for the rest of the year and could cost close to $400 million for the next 12 months. In a separate cover letter to the Pentagon, an outside consultant working for SpaceX wrote, "SpaceX faces terribly difficult decisions here. I do not think they have the financial ability to provide any additional terminals or service as requested by General Zaluzny." However, recently Musk said that his rocket company would continue to fund its Starlink internet service in Ukraine. Musk tweeted, "The hell with it. Even though Starlink is still losing money and other companies are getting billions of taxpayer dollar, we'll just keep funding Ukraine Goth for free." It was not immediately clear whether Musk's offer was genuine or if he was expressing sarcasm. SpaceX did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So, what are your thoughts on Musk's drama with cutting Starlink services to Ukraine? Should he be responsible for funding Starlink, or should the US military pay for a service the Ukrainian forces are using? Let us know in the comments below. That's all for this video. Hope you enjoyed watching this one. Thank you for watching.